the salt clinging to the bottle, and the lime perched on top. This is the luckiest of unions. As if the universe has swiped right, pairing flavors together with a crisp Dos Equis. This is refreshment designed by fate, blessed by destiny, and served by bartenders. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis, imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
In Las Vegas, live music doesn't just start. It hits different. The biggest names in music will be taking the stage. Beyoncé, Shakira, New Kids on the Block, Pitbull, Lionel Richie, Kenny Chesney, Motley Crue, Janet Jackson, Keisha Cole, Brad Paisley, Kelly Clarkson, The Weeknd, live in Vegas. Go to visitlasvegas.com to see the full summer lineup.
Summertime savings are heating up at Mark Mazda in Scottsdale. Right now, we have 1.9% financing on some of our most popular models, like the 2025 Mazda CX-50.
The name to remember, Mark Mazda, Mark Mazda. 24-month term, credit plus $998.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Pool season is coming in hot. Before you make a splash, assign a water watcher to help keep kids safe. A water watcher is a capable adult who knows how to swim and perform CPR in case of emergency. Make sure they put away any distractions and actively monitor everyone in the group while around water. After everyone is done swimming, water watchers should scan the bottom of the pool and close and lock the pool gate behind them. Ready for more water safety tips? Visit srp.net/pool.
The savings are heating up at Mark Mazda in Scottsdale. Right now, you can lease a brand new 2025 Mazda CX-50 Hybrid for just $399 a month plus tax for 36 months with just $29.99 down.
And we still have 1.9% financing on some of our most popular models, like the 2025 Mazda CX-50. Go to markmazdascottsdale.com to check out our current selection of inventory not affected by future tariff changes.
The name to remember, Mark Mazda, Mark Mazda. On approved credit plus $998.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
A win in the opener of a 3-game series with the Dodgers. But it wasn't all great news last night for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And which of the 9 candidates that have made it to the second round of the Phoenix Suns coaching search do we like the most? All of that and more on the Tuesday edition of the Lunch Break here on KDUS AM 1060, streaming on the KDUS AM 1060 app. And you can always watch the program over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube channel or on our Twitter account. Chris Schubert with you the next 2 hours right here on AM 1060. Producer Evan is behind the glass, doing the research, taking the phone calls, 480-864-1060. He was frantically running around his production studio right before the show started. I was concerned that we were going to have to delay the open to the program. Everything okay back there, my friend?
Everything's okay. I went in to make my pre-show cup of coffee, which is a routine for me.
Yeah, just like our pre-show game of pinball, which I noticed the last 2 days, we have either not filmed it or the audio for the filming was corrupt. And it just so happens that I've won the last 2 days and I'm back to my winning ways, but we have no proof of it on the social media account. I think there's a conspiracy.
I guess that stinks. I don't know what to tell you other than,
last 2 days.
Only the last really proven game was Fridays.
I know.
And who won that one?
I know. I very clearly see what you're doing here, and that's why I'm making I'm making a point to open the show with it, because the last 2 days we've recorded them, or yesterday we recorded it, and then I get told by our social media guy Marcus, audio sounds bad, and then I played it, and yeah, it sounded bad. And then today, 10:15 rolls around when we normally record and we play our game. Marcus just so happens to be in a meeting. just appears to be a conspiracy afoot. So, all right, you were making your pre-show cup of coffee. That's what you were doing.
And I spilled creamer on my hands. So then my hands were sticky.
So now we got to go to the bathroom.
So I didn't bring the coffee in here. Then realized my hands are sticky and they're not going to get any better. So I went to the bathroom to wash hands, and now I'm back. Yeah, it was from 10:58 to 11:02.
That 4 minutes, it was a little frantic.
It was a little frantic.
All right, well, hopefully we can get ourselves back on track here. And let's start with the baseball team last night. And I think we'll start with the good, then we'll get to the bad. But it was a victory nonetheless for the Diamondbacks last night.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
The good from this one is very simple. The Diamondbacks offense, and as a team, they jumped all over the Los Angeles Dodgers. They went with an opener last night, and the Diamondbacks made quick work of that opener, made quick work of the Dodgers trying to get away with one in the middle of May. Jumped on the Dodgers early, gave Brandon Pfaadt a nice, comfortable lead to work with. That's what you want to see when you're going on the road to play a team like the Dodgers. You're going on the road anywhere. Get off to an early start. Hand your starting pitcher a nice little bit of cushion. They scored 1 run on Sunday, so it was nice to see them put up a crooked number last night. Setting the tone early is important. Last time we saw these two teams meet up, it was a series split, and we looked at that series as a missed opportunity for the Diamondbacks. That Friday night game that they blew with the 6 runs they gave up in the 9th inning, they gave up a chance to take 3 out of 4 from the Los Angeles Dodgers. And so you want to set the tone early in your first meeting with this team in LA. And let's face it, you're catching the Dodgers at an absolutely perfect time. They just got done getting swept at home by the Angels 3 in a row. And you very quickly reminded them of their struggles right now because you jumped on them early. You got out to a big lead. You had the good starting pitching from Brandon Pfaadt, and you were able to take the first game of this series and draw within 3 games of them in the division. So that's the good. Offense jumped on all over them. Set the tone early. Brandon Pfaadt, I thought, was great. Gave up those 2 solo home runs in his last inning of work, but quality start nonetheless. 6 innings, 3 runs. Thought he did well. That was the good. And you won the baseball game. That was the good from last night. But then there was the bad. And the bad was we need to have, and we have a drop for this, we are going to have some of those tough conversations. We need to do something here on the program today. I don't know if we want to get some production made for this, but we need to start something here on the program. We need to create a list. No, not the list we're going to do in hour number 2 of the program, ranking the 9 head coaching candidates for the Phoenix Suns. We'll do that a little bit later. But what we need to create is a list of players, athletes in this town, that when we're done with them, when we've seen enough, when it's time for a team to move on or an organization to move on, they need to go on this list. And you don't get yourself off of this list. Once you're on this list, once your name is put in Sharpie on this list, you don't get off. If you do get off, it's going to take a lot. And the first name we need to put on this list is Ryan Thompson. Ryan Thompson needs to be put at the top of this list in Sharpie. You cannot continue to run him out there in positive Torlavella uses positive role, negative role environments. You cannot put him out there in a positive role environment anymore because you want to know what happens by putting Thompson out there the way that they did last night and him giving up the runs. You had to use Shelby Miller last night, which means you had to use Shelby Miller for 2 straight days. And so you know what that means? It means Shelby Miller's not going to be available today. You got Shelby in a 1-run game on Sunday, holding on to a 1-run lead in the 9th. Great job. Holds the lead. You should never have to bring in your closer in a game like last night, but you do. And so now you had to use your closer back-to-back days. He's not going to be available for a 3rd day. He's not going to be available. So this is where, you got the result that you were looking for last night. So people might say, no harm, no foul. Oh, no. There is harm and there is foul. Because you've now harmed yourself for today. And you always have to look at the game right in front of you and try to win today and worry about tomorrow. But now we're into tomorrow. You don't have your closer today. You don't have Shelby Miller available for a 3rd straight day. I'd be shocked if they had a 1 or 2 run lead late if Shelby Miller was up there available. So now, you know what time it is, everybody. Spin the wheel of closers. Because if you don't have Shelby Miller available to you tonight, and you have a 1 or 2 run lead late, who are you going to? Can't be Ryan Thompson. Now it's going to be Kevin Ginkel. And so now you have to reshuffle these deck chairs around. Cannot have that happen. Cannot be forced to use Shelby Miller to get one out in that game last night. Second consecutive day you had to use him. Ryan Thompson, he needs to be removed from any positive role environment. High leverage, medium leverage. He is a low leverage reliever right now. I do not trust him in any single scenario right now. Can't have it. The other bad thing that came out of this game, anybody want to tell me where Jordan Lawler is? Anybody want to tell me when Jordan Lawler is going to get a start here at some point? We'll get to this a little bit later on in the show, but at some point, we're going to have a conversation. We'll start it today. Are you doing him a disservice right now by having him up and him having less than 10 plate appearances? Are you harming his long-term potential for this team? There are no two people in media right now in Arizona that wanted on the big league roster than myself and producer Evan. Even we are confused by the way things are being handled right now. It doesn't make sense to us what the roadmap is. I need a game plan. I need a little bit more explanation as to what we're actually doing here with Jordan Lawler.
We wanted him on the roster to play. We talked about how if you're not going to play him, you can't bring him up. He needs every day at bats.
And right now, he's not getting every day or every other day or 4 times a week. He's not getting anywhere close to the number of at-bats that I think we all thought he would have gotten when he got called up. So even in a win last night, even in a game where you go on the road, you beat the Dodgers, they've now lost 4 in a row. You're within 3 games of the division. You've crawled back. You're looking like the team that we think you can be. Even in that type of environment last night, you're hitting the ball all over the place. Perdomo's hitting home runs. Corbin Carroll's getting extra base hits. Everybody in the lineup is contributing. You get another great start from Brandon Pfaadt. You're across the board checking boxes. Even in a win like the one you had last night, there's still a common thread. This bullpen does something every single night out that concerns us, that worries us, that makes us wonder if they're going to be able to win enough baseball games. Because you got away last night. You were okay. It didn't cost you the result. It may have cost you today's result. It may cost you Shelby Miller's availability today. I certainly think it has cost you Shelby Miller's availability today. And now you don't have Shelby Miller today, and I don't want Ryan Thompson anywhere near a high or medium leverage situation. So I'm basically down 2 relievers today. And something else that we'll touch on tonight, one of the other guys that you kind of trust out there, he's starting tonight. And perhaps it's not going to be the only start that we see from this guy moving forward. So even on a night where everything is great, even on a night where you pick up a win against your rival, and you're 3-2 so far against the Dodgers. You have won 3 of the first 5 meetings between these two teams. You would take that. You would sign up for that. And then you have a game that you almost gave away, or that you did give away with 6 runs in the 9th inning that you almost had. You almost had that one. We could be talking about a team that's 4-1 against the Dodgers and looks like they are going to take it to that team, which is kind of what I said before the season was going to happen. I said that I thought the Diamondbacks could keep it close, that they could keep it competitive with the Dodgers. And yet it just feels like they're missing something. And we all know what that something is. They're missing a trusted, reliable, dependable bullpen right now. And it was on display once again last night. 0 excuse for Shelby Miller to be anywhere near playing in that game last night. It was 7-0 at one point. 7-0 at one point in that game. You're not even thinking about using your relievers. I will admit, when Ohtani and Betts hit the home runs to make it, 7-3? There was a brief thought in my mind of, oh no, this bullpen's going to be asked to get the 7th, 8th, and 9th. 9 outs from this bullpen holding on to a 4-run lead. The thought did go through my mind that they were going to blow it.
Oh yeah, there was big fear there.
After the 2 home runs, I allowed the thought to creep into my thought process.
I'll give credit where credit's due, though. Listen, you get the end of the lineup. They never had to face Ohtani or Betts in a situation with runners on.
That's what you have to do against those guys.
And that's how you win.
Yeah.
Those guys burned you yesterday. You had 3 home runs, the top 2 hitters of the game. All solo shots.
Yeah.
That's how you win.
Yeah. Don't let those guys bat with runners on base in big spots. And the Diamondbacks avoided that. Brandon Pfaadt avoided that. Speaking of Pfaadt, let's leave this segment with this. You pulled these numbers before the show. His last 5 starts against the Dodgers, which includes the postseason, he's 4-0 with a 2.54 ERA, a sub-1 WHIP, 22.3% strikeout rate, a 6.3% walk rate, and a 200 batting average against. This is a guy that has thrived against this team in particular, and it was on display again last night. If not for the 2 home runs that he gave up in the 6th, I think he was cruising to a 7-inning, 1-run outing, and we're talking about him being the second best pitcher on this team.
Yeah, I mean, he left that 1 pitch over the plate to Mookie Betts, and it changed kind of the outlook of his outing. He was awesome yesterday.
Yeah, he continues to be, I know he hit a bump his last start out, but he just continues to be, I think, the most consistent guy out there in that rotation. And yesterday we touched on, if you had to win a game, who would you trust? Ranking the order of this rotation, most trusted to least trusted. And Pfaadt yesterday, I put towards the back part of the clump. And I think if he continues to pull out performances like this against teams like that, he'll move up the board very, very quickly. 480-864-1060 is the phone number. You can also join us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. Speaking of the Diamondbacks, you can listen for your chance to win 4 tickets to the Diamondbacks when they take on the Washington Nationals on Saturday, May 31st at Chase Field. It's Domo's night at Chase Field. Get your Geraldo Perdomo bobble on May 13th, courtesy of Chaz Roberts. So you got to get there early to pick up the Geraldo Perdomo bobblehead. We've got your chance to get tickets to that game. You got to be listening on the app, streaming us on the website. Got to be logged in, registered while you're listening, and you'll be entered for your chance to win the 4 tickets to the Diamondbacks against the Nationals. You can also get your tickets at dbacks.com/SGT. When we come back, 9 candidates remain. There is one central theme about those 9 candidates, or at least most of them, that is a good sign for the Phoenix Suns. I'll tell you what that is next. The lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Lincoln Park. From Zero World Tour 2025.
You ready?
Live in Phoenix. Footprint Center, Saturday, September 6th. With special guest Gene Dawson. Get tickets now at livenation.com. For more, visit lincolnpark.com.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Total Wireless is made to totally keep up with you. We have unlimited data that never slows you down, covered by the Verizon 5G network, and all for less than $30 a month when you get 4 lines. And the best part, we give you a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G when you switch to the 5G Unlimited or 5G Plus Unlimited plan. Visit your local Total Wireless store today. Total Wireless, we're totally with you. Actual speeds may vary by location. For data management practices, see TotalWireless.com.
Right now at Mark Kia, lease a brand new 2025 Kia Sportage for just $199 a month for 24 months with just $29.99 due at
The
signing.
name, remember? Mark Kia? Mark Kia. Go to markkia.com for full details. $0 security deposit payment plus tax out of license and $998 doc fee. Offer expires June 2nd, 2025.
Memorial Day mega sale is on at Little Dealer Little Prices. Get a new Forest River Westbrook from $13,995. Plus, veterans, military, and first responders receive a free camping package with purchase. Shop now at littledealer.com. Discount valid on in-stock RVs camping package for eligible buyers. Not combinable with other offers. See dealer for details. Ends May 31st, 2025.
Jim Rome here, the Rome Report. Let me start by saying, go New York, go New York, go. And Nick Fan, given how much I love the over-the-top, out-of-control, frenetic obsession you have for your club and how long you've waited for this moment, you just keep on keeping on. Keep doing you. Unless doing you includes mobbing up and dumping a bunch of garbage on and accosting that one Pacer fan that seemingly was minding his own business. Granted, rocking enemy gear in that environment was not the best idea, but it does not give you the right to go all sanitation engineer on this guy's backside. Stop doing that, but keep doing you. Now, I'm not saying the Knicks are the ones to beat. The OKC Thunder are. I'm not even sure the Knicks are the ones to beat versus Indiana, although they are favored. What I am saying is, if they can somehow string together 8 more performances like they did in closing out the Celtics, why not New York? In the meantime, Nick Fan, just enjoy the ride. I know you will. I'm Jim Rome.
O'Reilly. Get the full exterior car care experience with the Pro X1 Car Care Collection Wash Kit, only at O'Reilly Auto Parts. The kit includes all-wheel tire and cleaner, glass cleaner, snow foam car wash, and a microfiber wash mitt. Get the essentials in one box for just $19.99. Choose Pro X1 exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second-guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on KTUS AM 1060 and on the KTUS 1060 app.
Back here on the lunch break, KTUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert with you. Hope everybody's having a great start to their Tuesday. 15 minutes from now, we'll talk about the Cardinals and whether or not they need a big jump from Marvin Harrison Jr. in year 2 if they are going to make the playoffs. But right now, diving into the Phoenix Suns and their head coaching search that has advanced into round 2. And round 2 has 9 candidates left in it. Hour number 2 of the program, we're going to rank all 9 in order. I know producer Evan was working very hard during the morning meeting to put together his list. He got quiet at one point and he was writing down in his notebook and he was like, man, this is tough. I don't know what to do with the middle 5 guys on my list.
I was going to say, once you get into, you have your favorites and your least favorites.
Yes.
And then once you get into the middle area, that's where things become challenging to order.
It was easy to put the guy that I want at number 1 at number 1. In fact, it was easy to put the first 2 guys on the list. It was easy to put the last 3 guys on the list. It was the middle 4 that I don't know if I love my order. I think it's okay. You could convince me to change my order. How about that? You could convince me.
I think we could have different lists. Just on.
Yes, if you have David Fizdale number 1 on your list, we have different lists. That's the only spoiler that I'll give away. If you have David Fizdale number 1.
I'll give you a spoiler.
Okay,
he's far from 1.
Not number 1 on your list.
Yes.
It's not do the show before the show. That's coming up in hour number 2 of the program. But as we know these 9 names, And for those that may be just joining us, haven't heard those names, these are the 9 names. You have 2 Cleveland. This is interesting. I'm using my list of my 9 names to catch everybody up of who's on the list, but I don't want to read my list in order. So if I skip a name, I apologize. You got the 2 Cleveland assistants, Johnny Bryant and Jordan Ott. We mentioned David Fizdale, current Suns assistant coach. You have assistants from all over the place. You have Dave Bliss from Oklahoma City. You have Micah Nori from Minnesota. You have Steve Hetzel from Brooklyn. Sean Sweeney from Dallas is on this list. Chris Quinn from Miami. James Borrego, who's a Pelicans assistant. Those are the names that are on this list. But there is a central theme that I love about this list. And I think it is a smart thing for the Phoenix Suns to do. Take out David Fizdale because he has been with the team and he's a former NBA head coach at a really high level. Take out David Fizdale, the other 8 names on this list. I think it is fair to describe them. To diehard basketball fans, maybe not. But I think to the general masses, those 8 names are relative unknowns. I don't think we know NBA assistant coaches the way that we do offensive and defensive coordinators in the NFL. We don't get to the NFL head coaching cycle and not know who the hot coordinator candidates are.
It just feels like it's 1 more talked about, and 2, the hotter names, like you said. Like Ben Johnson was the hottest name for 2 years.
We knew Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn's name like we knew our social security numbers. We just knew those guys' names. We knew what their positions were. We knew they were going to be on a short list. We know Drew Petzing and Nick Ravlis, the coordinators here. We know the coordinators across the NFL. We just have a different relationship with the assistant coaches, specifically the 2 coordinators, than we do in any other sport. You don't have that relationship in basketball. So I think most of these guys are relative unknowns. Guess what? That's a good thing. That is a smart thing. Because the Phoenix Suns got obsessed. Matt Ishbia in particular got obsessed with chasing clout, with chasing pedigree, with chasing resumes. Frank Vogel, Mike Budenholzer, hired because of their resumes, hired because of their pedigree, hired because of the clout that they brought to the position. That is the thing that Matt Ishbia thought this club was missing. He got that wrong. And so the pendulum is swinging back in the other direction. I do not mean this derogatory, but these are more no names. These are not household names. This is not the hot offensive coordinator in the NFL like Ben Johnson was, that everybody knew he was going to land the job and everybody knew he was going to be on every team's short list. This is not the same type of coaching search. These are not the same type of names. And to that I say, good. Bring me in a relative unknown. Bring me in somebody who is trying to forge their own path, that have at least as an NBA head coach, an incomplete resume. Give me somebody who has experience being on the bench. Give me somebody who has experience being on an NBA sideline. I want that. But I want somebody who is looking for that first opportunity, is hungry for that first opportunity, because it is that hunger, it is that desire, it is that willingness to forge their own path that this job is going to require. We all know how difficult this task is going to be to retool the Phoenix Suns. And you need a coach that is willing to roll up their sleeves, get dirty, get into the weeds, and help turn this thing around. You have an inexperienced general manager. You're going to hire a somewhat inexperienced head coach. You need guys that are willing to roll up their sleeves, get dirty. They're not afraid to make mistakes. They're not afraid to learn, and they are looking to forge their own path. Everybody on this list checks that box. Maybe Fizdale doesn't because he's been a former head coach at a super high level at Memphis. But I don't really know how legitimate David Fizdale's candidacy is into round 2. Everybody else on that list checks a very important box. They are a relative unknown that is looking to make noise. And despite the couple of guys that have the Michigan State connections that we pointed out on yesterday's program, you're also drawing guys from good organizations. You've got Oklahoma City on this list. You've got Miami on this list. You've got Cleveland on this list. You've got Dallas on this list, Minnesota. You've got guys that have worked in Denver and the Knicks and the Cavs. You've got teams that are right now still standing in the playoffs that have ties to some of the names that have made it to round 2 of this interview process. That's also a really good sign.
And I'm sure we'll talk about it later, but like you said, not only are these good teams that we're seeing play right now as we get into the conference finals, but these are teams that we've seen change cultures.
Yes.
Come into relatively losing organizations and build them up and change the culture and give them an output that puts them deep in the playoffs and play the style of basketball that Brian Gregory, that Matt Ishbia, that the Suns want to play. And listen, a team like Miami is one we've referenced multiple times that plays a type of basketball that the Suns want to embody when you come to the arena. And they have addressed trying to build that culture.
It is important that the Suns get this right. And for all of the uneasiness that we had about Brian Gregory in this GM role, and we still have that uneasiness, I still have that uneasy feeling about whether or not he's going to be good at this job. This is our first chance to evaluate him in this role. So far, I like what I've seen. There are some landmines on this list. There are some names. There are some candidates that would make that uneasy feeling grow. But there's a lot of candidates on this list that would give Brian Gregory a really nice first impression to people like me who are on the fence about whether or not he can do this job effectively. If he is able to, as a first-time GM, navigate the most important offseason potentially in the franchise's history. 480-864-1060 is the phone number when we come back. Do the Cardinals need a big jump from Marvin Harrison Jr. in order to punch their ticket to the playoffs in 2025? That's next on the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app. Stevie Nicks. One special night, October 7th, PHX Arena. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Stevie Nicks. Live at PHX Arena.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Ink card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Ink Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Stars are shining down on Goldberg and Osborne. The Eagle has more than 2,200 5-star Google reviews from across Arizona. Like these.
They go that extra mile to let you know they care. A wonderful experience.
They treat their clients like family, and their professionalism is the best in the business.
They made sure I got a great offer. Like a bulldog, they fought for me.
Well said, everyone. After any accident, remember, the bird is a word. Visit Goldberg and Osborne at 1-800-THEEAGLE.com.
I'm Mark.
And I'm Colina. We've purchased 2 Fulton homes in the last 7 years. We would never buy anywhere but Fulton homes.
We actually tried other builders, looked at them, and nothing compares to Fulton quality. We're repeat builders with Fulton. It's been an amazing process, and we would never go anywhere else after experiencing it. The process working with the Fulton team was great. They cared. We got updates, and you could just tell how much they were excited, almost as much as we are. Fulton is so good at the homes they build. The quality you get is just really unmatched. They continue to care about us as a client, even though we've now finished the sale. I admired their communities because they were always a step above. The amount of landscaping, the way it was always groomed. They add the features that you want to be outside, you want to be in the community. And that matters to us. We want to be outside, not just in the home, and all the amenities are just amazing. We would buy Fulton Homes again in a heartbeat. I don't think we'd consider anybody else.
Fulton Homes. You're proud to own, we're proud to build.
Summertime savings are heating up at Mark Mazda in Scottsdale. Right now, we have 1.9% financing on some of our most popular models, like the 2025 Mazda CX-50.
The name to remember, Mark Mazda. Mark Mazda. 24-month term. Credit plus $998.
Today we celebrate all of our hard work, late nights, and the most craveable Raising Cane's chicken fingers and cane sauce that got you through it. So get out there and commemorate this moment with a Grad Plush puppy. Because you've earned it. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Buy or sell coming up in about 10 minutes from now here on the lunch break. We welcome you back into the program. Chris Schubert here with you. Was reading a story in The Athletic today. Marvin Harrison Jr. met with the media yesterday, and he looked. Producer Evan, did you happen to see any of the images of Marvin Harrison Jr. at his media availability yesterday?
They were all over Twitter. I mean, how could you not see?
Okay, I just was making sure that you saw the very muscular Marvin Harrison Jr.
That is one of my favorite things in sports.
Oh, best shape
is when somebody comes back.
Best shape of their life.
Slightly bigger.
Oh, best shape of their life.
Like a little bit more ripped up. Or like when, a big baseball player comes back a little thinner. And they're like, look at him. He's in the best shape of his life.
It is sports media. It's the free space on the sports media bingo card. I love spring training in baseball, training camp in football, when a guy shows up to camp. And it's always those guys. It's always those fringe guys that you're waiting to break out, or like they had a good couple of years, but then they hit a little bit of a rough patch, and everyone's still trying to hold on to that player still being good. I think the quintessential example of this for me is like Giancarlo Stanton for the Yankees. Everybody so desperately wants that dude to be healthy for a full season, and every time he shows up to spring training, Giancarlo Stanton, best shape of his life.
You hear that about Mike Trout too. Yes, Mike Trout's moving as fast as he's ever moved. He looks so limber.
Looks like he's back in his mid-20s, and then everyone's like, Mike Trout MVP season incoming. And then we get 3 weeks into the season, and he gets banged up again, and then we're right back at the start. The best shape of your life Twitter, or the best shape of your life.
The best.
It is potentially one of my favorite things because it is like clockwork. Somebody's going to tweet it. I can tell you right now, when training camps start across the league, somebody's going to show up to camp, and there's going to be a media member somewhere that says, man, that guy looks like he's in the best shape of his career.
It's awesome. And I love that it was Marv because he's the prime candidate, right? Like, they took him 4th overall, kind of a disappointing rookie year. Now they're like, well, now he's in the best shape. You see how hard he's been working?
He said he's been having some more protein. That's what's helped contribute to the new muscular build for Marvin Harrison Jr. And look, all kidding aside about best shape of his life, he looked good. He looked like somebody who, if there's one takeaway that we want to have from just the way he looked yesterday in meeting with the media, he looks like somebody who attacked this offseason seriously. He looked like somebody who understood that he missed his own expectations from last year and put in the hard work. Do I know if that hard work is going to pay off? I don't. I got to wait till we play football games. But I am not going to question the work ethic of Marvin Harrison Jr.
That's the biggest thing about all of these points is, and I like to see it for a younger guy, but it shows that he cares.
Yes.
And it shows that he wants to be good for this team. And I think that all of those things are more important than how it's actually going to Like, I don't know if him putting on 10 pounds of muscle is going to be a dramatic jump for him on the field.
It's not a automatic, oh, now he's a 1,000-yard receiver, right?
But I just think that it means that he wants to be good, and he wants it.
Right.
And that I care about more than the muscle itself.
Process over results, right? If you have the right process, the results more often than not come. It's when you have bad process that you're never going to get the results that you're looking for. And so, at least from that perspective, yeah, we can say that was a good sign. Does it mean a whole lot? No, it doesn't guarantee a 1,000-yard season. It doesn't guarantee he's going to be a top 10 receiver. It doesn't guarantee any of that. But the first time meeting with him after the offseason, after I'll put in air quotes, disappointing 2024 rookie campaign, I think he's getting his sophomore season off on the right foot. Adding that protein and adding that muscle mass. Now,
it's just so awesome.
It was fun to see everybody on Twitter discuss that yesterday. Now, after meeting with the media, a bunch of stories were written. I saw one in The Athletic this morning that I was reading from Doug Holler talking about how the year 2 leap for Marvin Harrison Jr. may be the thing that the Cardinals are banking on in order to make the postseason. And I read the story, read all the good quotes from Marv, and talked about his struggles last year and the inconsistencies and not being on the same page with Kyler. And it was very stop-start. When it looked great, it was great. But then there were times where you didn't really notice Marv out there, right? They were just not in sync for all 17 games. And that leads to a question of how important is Marvin Harrison Jr. to what the Cardinals are trying to do this upcoming season. And Marv, to his credit yesterday, embraced those playoff aspirations. Embraced the fact that he was brought here to help this team win. He was brought here to help this team make the playoffs and make noise. And he embraced yesterday those expectations. Again, another thing that you just love to hear from your year 2 playmaker. But I don't know if I'm willing to say that everything that the Cardinals want to do next season hinges on Marvin Harrison Jr. meeting whatever our expectations are for a year 2 wide receiver. I'm not ready to say if Marv is a 1,100, 1,200-yard receiver, reaches that 1,000-yard mark and scores all those touchdowns and he's consistent every single week, that's the thing that's going to take the Cardinals over the top. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but everybody knows what's going to take the Cardinals over the top. Those last 6 weeks of the regular season. Those close games, those tightly contested games that this team hopefully is playing in those final 6 weeks against good teams with the playoffs on the line, and how they thrive or don't thrive in those moments. Because I have a tough time saying that the playoff chances for the Cardinals hinge on anybody other than the guy under center. As he goes, this team is going to go. Now, if you wanted to make the case for the coach, and the coach being able to coach well enough in those pressure-packed games, because let's face it, has Jonathan Gannon coached in a big game yet? The trademark big game that everybody likes to throw out there, right? Everyone likes to throw that superlative out there. Oh, this one's a big game. Has Jonathan Gannon coached in what we would all classify as a big game?
Not as a head coach.
So how does he handle a 3-point lead with 4 minutes to go when you have the ball? How does he handle how aggressive he is in a close game in the fourth quarter with going for it on 4th down? Does that pressure get to him, and a decision that he would normally make, he goes against that? I don't know, because I haven't seen it yet. So if we were creating a list, and we're not, but if we were, and we were putting on that list the players or people, coaches, front office people, we were putting members of the organization on the list of these people are most important to the Cardinals and their playoff success in 2025. I don't think Marv's in the top 4.
I think that's fair. And you're counting coaching. So I don't think that he's in it. He might crack the list at 4.
Kyler is number 1. Drew Petzing is number 2. Jonathan Gannon for me is number 3. So for the earliest we can entertain putting Marv on this list is number 4.
And the only argument that I would say is against Marv is you've made several additions on the defensive side of the ball. You would want Sweat to be on that list.
Sweat's the guy that I would pick.
And you would put him at 4. But other than that, this offense is going to be pretty heavily reliant on Trey McBride.
James Conner.
And they're going to have to play off of that with Marv.
Oh, Marv is important. But I don't know if Marvin Harrison Jr. has to put up video game type numbers for this team to make the playoffs.
I'll tell you, here's what I don't disagree with you, but I will tell you this. If he doesn't have a 1,000-yard season, if you posted his numbers before the year and they said below 1,000, if I was a betting man, I would tell you that team doesn't make the playoffs.
Okay, let's pull on that thread for a second. Are you saying that because Marv had a bad season, or is the thing that you're extracting from that Kyler had a bad season?
I think the thing I would be extracting from that is the offense was inefficient and the quarterback didn't play well.
Right. So again, if Marv has a down year, now he can have a down year and it can be on him, right? He could have a bunch of drops. He could not separate well. I mean, there can be reasons when you look at the film as to why he has a down year. But more often than not, he may have a down year, and it's because the quarterback doesn't play very well. Most times that conversation is going to be led back to the guy under center, or it's going to be led back to the guy calling plays before the blame gets put on the wide receiver.
I do like where you put Petzing on that list. I think
Drew Petzing is under a lot of pressure to run a more fluid, a more creative, a more balanced offense in 2025. I have zero doubt in my mind that Drew Petzing is able to call a great run game. No doubt in my mind that he's able to run the ball at an elite level. The numbers last year for the rushing attack of the Arizona Cardinals were off the charts. Top 10 everywhere running the football. You have to be able to pass in this league. You have to be able to go blow for blow with some of the best offenses. Because as much improved as we think this defense is, they're still going to be in those shootouts. They're still going to be in those back and forth affairs where it's going to be, you got to get to 30. You are not going to get to 30 controlling the tempo, running the ball on the ground, trying to just control time of possession. You're not going to get to 30 that way. You have to be able to air it out. So there is pressure on him.
And we talked about it with the Rams, right? They can run to keep the lead. They can play good defense, we think, with some of the new additions.
Yeah, I think so.
Can you make the 5 to 8 pass plays a game that you need to win?
Yeah, it is the lunch break formula to a playoff upset. If you want to go on the road and win in the playoffs, you got to have a good defense, you got to have a good running game, you got to have a coach that can at least tie the coaching battle, if not give you an advantage in that regard, and you have to have the quarterback that can make those 5 to 8 throws that you are watching the game at home and you go, wow. If you check all those boxes, you can upset somebody in the postseason. You can do it. But that's also a recipe for winning a big game in the regular season too. And I don't know if the Cardinals check enough of those boxes. And so if they fail, I don't know if it's going to be laid at the feet of Marvin Harrison Jr. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe Marv will drop a bunch of passes and be, I don't think he's this, but a diva wide receiver that causes problems and makes too much noise when the team is struggling and is more about he than he is the team. Again, I do not think that about Marv at all. I do not expect that to be the case. But maybe that scenario plays out, and then you can say, okay, yes, he played a role. But more often than not, all roads are going to lead back to the guy under center for the Arizona Cardinals or the guys coaching on the sideline. 480-864-1060 is the phone number. When we come back, we wrap up hour number 1 of the show. A little buy or sell. Producer Evan has the takes. I'm either buying or selling the take. And as you know from listening to this program, it can be anything. I had to talk about the Chiefs yesterday on the program, so I have no idea what's coming in buy or sell, but we'll do it next. The lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh, my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Phoenix, are you ready to ascend? Bring Bring Me the Horizon, USA Ascension Program, Part 1.
Every sky will build, my friend.
Taking over Footprint Center, October 2nd, with special guest
Crawling from hell.
Motionless in White, The Plot in You, and Amira El Fiki. On sale now at livenation.com. Bring Me the Horizon, presented by the Big Red Radio.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Lerner Rowe, and we've been serving Arizonans for 20 years. Make the best choice after an accident. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Lerner Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900. 977-1900.
Feeling uneasy about your financial future? You need a partner that helps lighten the load. Welcome to Global Credit Union. It means early payday, your paycheck up to 3 days early with direct deposit, accounts with no NSF fees, and a mobile app with tools to help you manage your family budget. At Global, we take member care seriously with branches near you and a 24/7 US-based call center staffed by real people. Join us at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union.
The Memorial Day Mega Sale is on at Little Dealer Little Prices. Take off your summer adventure with a new Forest River Westbrook from $13,995, featuring better quality, better features, and unbeatable value. Veterans, active duty military, and first responders receive a free candy package with purchase as our way of saying thank you. Enjoy zero markups on freight and prep fees and shop with confidence thanks to fast, easy financing. These deals won't last. Visit littledealer.com today. Discount valid on in-stock RVs. Tempting package for eligible buyers. Do not combine mobile with other offers. See dealer for details. Ends May 31st, 2025.
It's ASU postseason baseball right here on KDUS AM 1060. After fighting hard all season long, the Sun Devils are ready to make some noise in the Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship. Their first matchup is up against BYU bright and early this Wednesday. Join the voice of the Sun Devils, Tim Healy, as he calls the action from Arlington. It's ASU versus BYU. Pregame at 6:45 a.m. and first pitch at 7 a.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and online at KDUS1060.com/Sun Devils.
About 10 minutes from now, we'll get into the Diamondbacks and Jordan Lawler's absence from the regular starting lineup. But right now, it is buy or sell. Producer Evan has the topics. I have the reaction to the topics. Take it away, my friend.
Let's get into it. Okay, start with the D-backs. When he comes back, Eduardo Rodriguez needs to work primarily out of the bullpen.
When he comes back, Eduardo Rodriguez needs to work primarily out of the bullpen. I want to buy this. Are you asking me what I would do or what I think the team is going to do?
What you would do?
Me? He's in the bullpen. We've got an over 7 ERA. We've got 9 starts. You would have been making your 10th start today. I don't anticipate today would have been any different than the other 9 starts we would have seen from Eduardo Rodriguez, but I guess there's always a chance. I've seen enough. I would move him to the bullpen. He can be my long guy. He can be the guy that mops up innings for me. Now, long-term, what do I do with that? I have no idea. There's 2 more years on that contract. Whole can of worms there. I got to focus on the 2025 Diamondbacks. I got to win games today. Every 5th day. It's simple. I don't think I have a chance with Eduardo Rodriguez on the mound. So if it was me, I would buy this. I would move him to the bullpen. What I expect, and we'll touch on this a little bit more in hour number 2 of the program because we're going to talk about Ryne Nelson. I think it's going to depend on how Ryne Nelson does because I think the Diamondbacks are going to try very hard to get Eduardo Rodriguez back into the rotation just because the money that's associated with him. Nelson's probably a better fit for that role in the bullpen because he's done it before. Erod's a vet. Just too many, I think, logistical hurdles there. So I think they're going to try to put Nelson back in the bullpen, but it'll all depend on how Nelson performs while Erod is out.
Staying in that pitching staff, by the end of the season, Corbin Burns will finish in the top 5 of National League Cy Young voting.
I'll buy this. He has been excellent his last couple times out. Excellent. He looks like the guy that they paid $210 million for. The life on the cutter feels like it's there. Now, yeah, he pitched against the Rockies. There's a decent chance that I could go out there and throw some quality innings against the Rockies. I get it. But
not everybody can.
He's looked like a different pitcher since coming back from skipping that start against the Mets. And it feels like when they talked about him being fatigued really since the start of the season, that he's gotten that under control, and he feels like the guy that we saw last year, the guy that has been a perennial Cy Young candidate. So, yeah, top 5, absolutely, I'll buy that one.
The Cardinals won't actually bring in veteran help at receiver like we talked about.
I saw another story about a veteran wide receiver. I saw another story on ESPN talking about Keenan Allen being a perfect fit for the Arizona Cardinals. It won't go away. It will not go away. I stopped trying to speak it into existence. I tried. For weeks on the program, I tried to speak it, will it into existence, that they add a veteran wide receiver. Let me make sure I got this. Can you say that they won't actually bring in?
The Cardinals won't actually bring in veteran helpers.
As much as I would rather sell this, I have to buy this. At this point, I think they would have done it already.
I agree. Big vote coming up, and the NFL will certainly ban the tush push this week.
I hate that we're having this conversation. I hate it. Because
same.
I know why you hate it. It just makes all of the teams that are pushing for it.
No, it's a horrible look on the Packers. I wonder if they asked all their owners to vote on it.
You see, you have a vendetta against the Packers and specifically their ownership structure.
Yes.
I randomly walked into your studio the other day and you're like, man, I hate the Packers. And I'm like, why? You're like, oh, they just give the ownership to the fans. You're like, I hate that. I'm like, all right, man, sorry. It does come off as some sour grapes. It does come off as you can also run this play if you want to. You're just not good at it.
And then the Bills getting in on this. They ran it more than anybody other than the Eagles. Whatever.
You're a little biased.
I'm a little biased.
Just a little. For those who don't know, producer Evan is an Eagles fan. So there is a little bit of bias here. I will buy this. I think they're going to ban it.
I do too. It would be so funny if they ban it, though, and Saquon breaks like the touchdown record or something from the 1 yard line. That would be so funny.
Or the rule, and I've seen some of the new verbiage that they're using for it. Somebody finds a new loophole.
Yeah, which will happen.
So, sure, that's what these coaches do. They spend 17 hours of every day at the facility looking for things exactly like this to try to exploit in the rule book.
All right, last one. The Dodgers aren't nearly as good as we thought in the preseason, and there's a real chance they won't win the division.
You're feeling yourself after they lost their 4th in a row last night. That's the only reason why this is in there. You're feeling yourself.
They got swept by the Angels.
They did. No, it was the A's. I was going to say, wasn't it the other day that you were trying to convince me that the Angels were a thing? But no, it was the A's that you were trying to convince me.
Who also lost to the Angels last night. Angels are a thing.
I will not.
I'm the biggest American League West fan.
Well, that's because when the Diamondbacks are done, that's the division that's still playing.
Yes.
So that those games just get thrown onto the TV. Can't tell you how many times I've watched the Mariners this season.
And I'm so tired of that.
I'll tell you, every time I watch the A's, they don't look like a good baseball team.
Neither do the Mariners.
Every time I turn the A's on, they're like losing like 6-1 or something. But when I'm not watching, they're doing great. Anytime I turn them on, they're losing to some team. They were playing the Giants the other day, and they weren't playing very well. No, I'm selling this. The Dodgers are as good as we thought they were. They're the defending World Series champions. Everybody said that the concern about this team was going to be the pitching and the health and the stability of the pitching. It's being tested. They still have Shohei Ohtani. They still have Mookie Betts. They still have Freddie Freeman. They still have an offense that has guys. They just called up one of their top prospects to be a catcher. They just got Tommy Edman back. They're still as good as we thought they were. The results maybe don't match right now, but no, they're still the best team in the National League. They're still the favorites to win this division. No, I am selling this take.
Same thing with Lawler a little bit on Dalton Rushing, who just came up. Why are they not playing him in left?
Well,
he can play the corner outfield. I don't know why they're not getting him that back.
They called him up and they DFA'd Austin Barnes, right? That was the corresponding move.
Yeah.
So the idea is that he's going to play behind the plate. It's his natural position as catcher. But
you have Will Smith.
You do.
And you're in a position where have him play catcher when he gets to that point. But you need to be, same thing. You need to be playing him 4 to 5 times a week.
You certainly would think if you're going to call up prospects you want them to be playing more often than not. Maybe they don't need to be everyday players, but you would rather have them play more often than not. Hour number 1 of the program in the books. When we come back, are the Diamondbacks, speaking of prospects, are the Diamondbacks hurting Jordan Lawler? That's next, the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
You get on your bike, you follow all the rules, someone crashes into you, and now it's your fault?
If you're a rider, you're already fighting every day just to be seen. Distracted drivers love to blame riders, even when the facts say otherwise.
Do your research. Call the husband and wife law team first.
9 Inch Nails. Live at Footprint Center, September 16th. Get tickets now at NIN.com. 9 Inch Nails, live in Phoenix. Peel It Back World Tour 2025.
Hello, everybody. Eric Bryan, owner of Precision Air and Plumbing. If you're having plumbing problems, we've got you covered. My plumbing technicians are the best in the business. That's why we've been voted Arizona's #1 ranked company for more than a decade. Whether you've got clogged drains, drippy faucets, need a new water heater, or even a full house repipe, Precision does it all. So make the Precision decision today and call us at 602-765-PIPE.
Precision decision with Precision Air.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Bluebell Groom's Cake Ice Cream is renewing its vows on the frozen aisle. Milk chocolate ice cream with chocolate cake pieces, chocolate-coated strawberry hearts, swirls of strawberry sauce, and chocolate icing. See you at the reception.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at all Albertsons and all Safeways.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
12 o'clock hour of the lunch break, the Tuesday edition of the program. Appreciate you joining us. Chris Schubert with you. 10 minutes from now, we'll talk about Ryne Nelson getting the start tonight in place of Eduardo Rodriguez and what his future might look like in this rotation. But we'll start this hour of the program talking about Jordan Lawler, who was noticeably absent from the starting lineup once again last night. And I tweeted this after the lineup went out there, and it was revealed that he was not going to be in the lineup yet again, that you are already doing something to Jordan Lawler that he hasn't had happen to him a whole lot in his career. He's 22 years old. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. He is a guy that is used to playing every single day. Every single time the team is playing, he anticipates, he gets himself ready to be in that starting lineup playing somewhere. So by calling him up to the big leagues and warning us ahead of time, he's not going to play every day. You told us he was not going to play every single day, but he was going to get enough at-bats to make it worthwhile for him to be up at the big league level. Okay. So we signed up. We're on board with this. We're all excited. We're ready to go, right? We're ready to see Jordan Lawler. And you call him up. And since being recalled on May 12th, he's had 2 starts and 8 at-bats, 9 plate appearances. You were already asking for a 22-year-old to make a tough adjustment of going from being an everyday player to not being an everyday player. And now you're doing it on hard mode. You're increasing the difficulty of the video game for no reason. And here's the other problem right now. Geraldo Perdomo is on fire right now. Hit a home run last night. Sitting over 300 for the season. You're going to want him in there most days. Switch hitter. He's going to be in there almost every day. So shortstop's not a spot where Lawler can go play. How often is Ketel Marte going to sit down from the starting lineup? So there are limited chances for Lawler to draw in to the regular everyday starting lineup. Now this is tough because this program, all on board with Jordan Lawler getting called up, wanted to see him getting called up. Well before he got called up, we said, you got to promote this kid. He's crushing it down in Reno. There's not much more for him left to prove. You got an offense at the big league level that is starving for a spark, that is starving for some energy to be infused into the lineup. He can play third base. Suarez wasn't playing well at the time. It all just made sense. It was the stars aligning. They didn't do it then. They waited a little bit longer. And then when they did make the decision, correct me if I'm wrong, producer Evan, but we were kind of a little confused by it. We were like, all right, like, hey, we're excited, but like the timing doesn't make a whole lot of sense here.
Yeah, it was when Gino started heating up. It felt like he was playing better, and it felt like Lawler was starting to kind of cool down from his hot streak to start the year. It was strange timing, to say the least, and it wasn't during the Marte injury where we didn't think it was going to be his name, but there was still a chance because he could play second every day. It just felt out of place. And I will tell you, doesn't it feel like they're trying to find Tim Tawa more at bats than they're trying to find Jordan Lawler?
Well, and this is why we had the conversation on air about, hey, perhaps getting him some reps in the outfield would help for this season. Because Marte, unless he gets hurt, is not being moved off of second base very often. Geraldo Perdomo is going to be the everyday shortstop. There's not a lot of pathways for Lawler to play. The bat is strong. The bat is something you want at the big league level. So how can you... Yesterday, perfect example. There's an opener going for the Dodgers, a lefty opener. So what does Torrey do? He sits down Alek Thomas. He plays Tim Tawa. Boy, I would much rather that have been Jordan Lawler if we got Jordan Lawler some center field reps down in Reno so that Lawler can get some at-bats. But instead, you let a guy who... I pulled up his numbers because I wanted to make sure I reflected this accurately. He played at 20 years old, 14 games in 2023 at the big league level. He had 34 plate appearances. He hit 129 with a 206 on base percentage and was a negative .2 WAR in those 34 plate appearances. So he came up in 2023 as a 20-year-old and he struggled. He struggled in the small sample size. So he's thinking about that. He knows that his first cup of coffee in the big league level didn't really go well. So you've called him up. He's made 9 plate appearances. He doesn't have a hit yet. And so he's got to be thinking about it again. And every time you let him sit on the bench more, he gets to think about it more. He gets to worry about it more instead of just going out there and playing on vibes. And instead of just thinking, just letting the game come to him.
If he's not in the lineup tonight, there needs to be serious questions asked in the post game.
Is the lineup out
about
yet?
What their plan is?
Is the lineup out yet for this team tonight?
I can't imagine it.
Well, sometimes teams just... They release the lineups way ahead of the time that you think. Like right now, there are lineups out. They're like the Blue Jays play at like 7 o'clock tonight. That lineup's already out. The Rockies have their lineup already out for the game tonight.
D-backs do not have their lineup.
No, and the Dodgers don't have their lineup out there either.
And in case you were wondering, Lawler has never had an at-bat against Yamamoto.
Well, Yamamoto's only been there for 2 seasons, so thanks, Captain Obvious. What am I supposed to do with that?
It's
his second season. He didn't play last year. Lawler's had 9 at-bats this season. Thanks.
Yeah.
If he had at-bats, would that change things?
Suarez is 0 for 7.
That wasn't your finest moment. That was not your finest moment on the program.
Well, obviously I was kidding.
I know, but
You tried to catch me sleeping there, and I was ready for it. I was ready for you. Now, righty today, Marte's going to be in there. Perdomo's going to be in there. Alec Thomas is going to be in center. You want the two lefties in there. You want Pavin. You want Josh Naylor. So you start to wonder how we're going to get here. I would bet that he's not in the lineup again tonight. He's made 2 starts so far since coming back. He started against a lefty on the 13th. He played short. And then on that Saturday, he faced a righty and played second base. So he's made 2 starts, one against a lefty, one against a righty. But most of the time against lefties, Carroll, Marte, Gurriel, Naylor, Suarez, Moreno, got Grichuk in there against the lefty. Against the righties, it's the 2 lefties are almost always in there. Pavin Smith and Josh Naylor are almost always in there. And it doesn't feel like you need to give Pavin a day off. You just gave him a day off on Friday. It doesn't look like you need to give Naylor a day off. You gave him a day off on Saturday. I don't think he's going to be in the lineup tonight. What do we do with that?
At that point, they're just hindering him.
And that's where I want to go with this. At what point do we get to where now you're hurting him? He is 22 years old. You may think that he has shown all that he can show down in Reno. You may think he's mastered the AAA level. But if there's no opportunity, there's no opportunity. I would still rather him be playing every single day down in Reno and getting reps. And you know what? Perhaps we get him some reps in the outfield down there in Reno so that now he's a more versatile player for the big league level. What did we say when they called Lawler up? 2026, there's your starting third baseman. I know what his role on this team is in 2026. I don't necessarily know exactly what his role can be for this team in 2025. He's a Swiss Army knife. He can play a bunch of different positions. He gives you versatility at second, at short, at third, can play those 3 positions well. I wanted him to add outfield to the mix because now it's just more ways for Torrey to give other guys days off and to get Lawler into the lineup. But another game has gone by in which Lawler didn't start, and he's only had 9 plate appearances since being called up. What was it, a week ago? It was a week ago, right, that he got called up?
A little over now.
It was last Sunday that he got called up?
Yes, I think you're at
7, 8 days?
9 days.
2 starts in 9 days. 2 starts.
Torrey almost guaranteed 4 a week.
3 or 4. We've gotten 2 in 9 days.
We're already short of that number.
Oh, we're well short of that number. We're well short. It's hurting him. He's not helping the team because he's not playing. And to make all this happen, you DFA'd Garrett Hampson. Now, yeah, I think Lawler's a better player than Hampson, but if you're not going to use Lawler, why did you make that roster move then? So you think he's in the lineup tonight, or you don't think he's in the lineup tonight?
I think he's in the lineup tonight because I think it's forced his hand.
Where's he playing?
I think tonight he plays third.
So Suarez gets the day off? Suarez has played every single day. He played Tuesday, Wednesday. They had the day off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So he's played every game that they have had over their last 6 games.
I think Suarez gets the day off. I think Lawler gets the start at third.
Suarez gets the day off. Lawler gets the start at third. That feels like the only place he's going to play tonight.
It's the only chance.
The 2 lefties are going to be in at first and DH. Thomas is going to play center field. Perdomo's going to be in there. Marte is going to be in there. He doesn't have an at-bat against Yamamoto, though, so I don't know if they're going to want to go against the numbers. The numbers don't have any at-bats there.
Well, would you rather have 0 sample size?
Or 7?
Or a bad sample size? A 1 for 7.
I mean, that's unfair that is unfair to Suarez to call that a bad sample size. It's 7 at-bats. It's 7 at-bats. It's
8 is enough to sit somebody down, apparently, on this team.
8 is a little over 2 games worth of at-bats. That's it. That's the sample size that you're judging this off of. Now, I want him in there tonight. I want him to get a start. And listen, he hasn't been great in the field, right? He hasn't hit well overall. I get it. But if already 9 plate appearances in, you're kind of like, nah, I don't want him out there, then send him down. Send him down, let him play every day. And now send him back down there with some homework, with stuff to work on, and also add on his plate, we want you to get some reps in the outfield. We want you to get some reps in center.
I think when they call him up, though, they are so committed to, this is it. We're not sending him back down.
But are they committed? How committed are they?
They're not committed to playing him, but they are committed to keeping him at the major league level because they would have addressed pretty early that they needed to send him back down.
If he's not in the lineup tonight.
You're 9 days in. He's played twice.
He's played twice, 9 days in. If he doesn't play tonight, we'll go to day 10 tomorrow with Jordan Lawler only making 2 starts. At some point, I think you're hindering him. I think you're hurting his ability to see regular pitching on an everyday basis. And I know there's a difference between AAA and the big league level, but at some point, you're doing him a disservice for not getting those regular reps. He is still a 22-year-old kid. He still needs those everyday reps in the box against opposing pitching to work on the holes in his swing. And he's got them. He has holes in his swing. He needs to get better. I'm not saying that this guy's hitting 340. Why is he not in the lineup? But I am talking about a prospect that you called up. You made a big deal about it. When we call this kid up, he's going to stay up. We're going to be able to get him enough at bats, right? That was the quote from Torrey before they made the move, that I told Mike, I can get this kid enough at bats to make it worth everybody's while to call this kid up. You've called him up, and you haven't done anything with him. You're hurting him. You are hurting the long-term health of your organization right now by having him up. Now, our friend Sean over on the YouTube channel says, isn't this a good problem if you've got guys you can't take out of the lineup to get him in? I don't know if Suarez is playing well enough to warrant him not playing. I don't know if I would rather see Tim Tawa in center field over Jordan Lawler, right? Those are the two areas that he can probably play. He can be your right-handed option in center field against lefties. And again, yes, it can be looked at as a good problem because you have Marte and Perdomo hitting really well. But we knew that. We knew how good those guys were. So you knew this was going to be a problem, and yet you called him up anyway. It's not like you stumbled into Perdomo and Marte all of a sudden figuring out how to play baseball. They're two good players. They're cores of your offense. So you knew this was going to be something that this was going to be a pitfall that you were going to fall into, and yet you just willingly stormed ahead. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program, or you can join us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, he has already made one spot start this season. Tonight, he starts in the rotation. What does he have to do in order to keep that spot? That's next on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. T&Cs apply.
Ghost World Tour 2025. Ghost Theatrical Heavy Metal Arena Rock. August 11th, Footprint Center. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Ghost.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Fulton Homes is bringing legendary Fulton quality back to the West Valley. Explore 4 exceptional West Valley locations with more standard features and thousands of ways to personalize your home. Find out why people buy Fulton Homes over and over again. Fulton Homes. You're proud to own. We're proud to build.
The summertime savings are heating up at Scottsdale Mitsubishi. Come check out a brand new 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage for just $15,995.
The name to remember? Scottsdale Mitsubishi. Scottsdale Mitsubishi, another Mark Auto Group dealership.
It's Summer Splash at Whole Foods Market, where you'll find crisp, family-sized salads and limited-time desserts. Plus, dive into savings on grill-ready meats, organic seasonal produce, salty snacks, and more through June 10th.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Analytics have changed the NFL. Front office is smarter, more calculated, and more risk adverse. When it comes to roster construction, the league has followed a predictable blueprint. Build the trenches, land your quarterback, and prioritize wide receivers. Every other position, devalued, dismissed, or labeled replaceable. And maybe that's where the math gets it wrong. Take a look around the league at some of the NFL's best. Lions just won 15 games with a core that includes high-impact safeties, linebackers, a dynamic tight end, and one of the most productive running back tandems in football. The Eagles spent big on Saquon Barkley, invested in tight ends like Dallas Goedert, even took a linebacker, Jahad Campbell, in the first round. And the 49ers, they built their success on names like George Kittle, Fred Warner, and Christian McCaffrey. The point is simple. Great players win games. Whether it's a guard or a safety or a running back, the position doesn't matter nearly as much as the production. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. King's Hawaiian welcomes you to summer and reminds you sliders are the perfect meal for the summer grilling season. King's Hawaiian rolls and slider buns, so versatile, perfect for whatever you're thinking of grilling up. How about chicken, beef, pork, fish, whatever you're thinking of putting on the grill, King's Hawaiian can turn those into delicious sliders and make you the hero of the backyard. So get ready for summer grilling season. Go to the bakery or deli section of your local grocery store and pick up those irresistible King's Hawaiian rolls and slider buns and enjoy.
As down payments get bigger, millions of renters across America feel like they'll never be able to buy a home. So instead of lowering expectations, Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with One Plus, helping more renters become owners. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on KTUS AM 1060 and on the KTUS 1060 app.
Ten minutes from now, the list. Ranking the 9 head coaching candidates that remain for the Phoenix Suns. That coming up in about 10 minutes from now. We don't know if Jordan Lawler will be in the lineup tonight, but we do know who will be on the mound. It will be Ryne Nelson taking the spot of Eduardo Rodriguez, who was placed on the 10-day injured list with some shoulder inflammation. And so the guy who made a spot start once this season for Corbin Burns is now taking the rotation spot, at least temporarily, of Eduardo Rodriguez. The last time out as a starter for Ryne Nelson, it was 4 1/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 home run, 4 walks, and 2 strikeouts in a spot start against the Mets. I thought he did well considering the circumstances. Had been a reliever most of the season, and the Diamondbacks had a tough time trying to get him the length that they were looking for to keep him ready for that exact scenario. So I thought he did well, all things considered. And so now he is getting his turn in the rotation. This is a guy who last year in the second half was great. Last year, overall, made 25 starts, finished the year with a 4.24 ERA in those 25 starts, went 10-6, also picked up a save in 150 innings last year and had a very, very good second half to the season. That was what put everybody on notice that he could be a member of this rotation. A 3.23 ERA in his second half last year was great in July. A 2.41 ERA was great in August. A 3.19 ERA was excellent in the second half of the year last year. Really put the pressure on this Diamondbacks front office of who was going to be their 5 in the rotation. Jordan Montgomery goes down with Tommy John surgery. Eduardo Rodriguez felt like a lock just because of how much money he was making, and Ryne Nelson felt like the natural fit to be this swing guy, reliever, long man, spot starter, and that's the role that he got. Well, now he's getting his chance to be back in this rotation and show that what he was in the second half of last year, specifically in July and August, is a guy that can be a permanent member of this rotation. And so far in the one spot start, he was fine. He gave the team a chance to win. And you could not say the same for Eduardo Rodriguez's last couple of starts out there for this ball club. So what does Ryne Nelson have to do during his temporary residency in this Diamondbacks rotation? What does he have to do if he is going to take this job? That's a tough question to answer because I think inherently the Diamondbacks are going to want Eduardo Rodriguez back in this rotation. They are paying him a lot of money to be a starter. This is year 2 of a 4-year commitment that the Diamondbacks made to Eduardo Rodriguez. He is an older veteran pitcher. It's tough to teach an old dog new tricks, right? That's the phrase. It's hard, a veteran in his 30s, to turn that person from a starter into a swingman, spot starter, long relief arm in the bullpen. It's hard to do that. So it's hard to envision a world where Erod comes back. If Ryne Nelson's pitching well, the team goes, yeah, you're just going to go into the bullpen, Erod, because it's not a role that he is particularly comfortable with. It's a role that he might not thrive in. And then you're right back in the same scenario of having a bullpen of guys not in the right role, not in the best role for them. You can't move on from Eduardo Rodriguez. Again, this is year 2 of a 4-year commitment that these two sides have made to one another. So this is a tough spot for this team to be in. Ryne Nelson can force the issue, though. If he pitches like he did in the second half last year, if he pitches close to what we saw from him against the Mets in that spot start that he made for Corbin Burns, if he pitches like that, the truth is going to be in the pudding. I think that's the phrase, right? The truth is in the pudding.
I think you got it. I think that's it.
You not being confident now makes me less confident. You're just typing away. Truth is in the pudding. What does that get you on the internet? Am I good?
The saying, the truth is in the pudding,
okay,
means that the true value or quality of something can only be determined by direct experience or testing, not by appearances or promises alone.
Okay. I think I used that perfectly.
Nailed it.
The truth is going to be in the pudding for Ryne Nelson. If he goes out there and he delivers quality start after quality start, and not the actual statistical definition of quality start, 6 innings, 3 runs or less, but he gives the team a chance to win every single time he takes the mound during his stay in Eduardo Rodriguez's roster spot or rotation spot. Every time he goes out there and gives this team a quality outing, that's one more quality outing that he's given than Eduardo Rodriguez has as of late. That's how he's going to put pressure, that being Ryne Nelson, on this organization to maybe keep him in that spot. I said I'd give Eduardo Rodriguez until 10 starts before I would be done. We added Ryan Thompson to our brand new, currently unnamed, and we'll solicit names. The proof is in the pudding. Somebody on YouTube has shared.
Yes.
I believe it is your dad who has chimed in and has told us that it is the proof is in the pudding.
Yes, that is, yeah.
It's unfortunate.
We were close.
Knocking
on the door.
Knocking on the door. The proof is in the pudding. I mean, the phrase still works for what we're going for.
No, you got your point across.
I got my point across. I just didn't phrase it the correct way for the saying.
And honestly, the proof is in the pudding sounds
there's more
better.
There's more.
And I think that it is.
Yeah. There's alliteration there. That proof is in the pudding flows a lot better than truth is in the pudding. But truth, I think you can see where the mix-up occurred.
100%.
I think everybody understands what happened there. our unnamed list that we started at the beginning of the show of players that we're just done with. Ryan Thompson on that list. Eduardo Rodriguez was about one start away from being on that list. He was one start away from potentially being the genesis of that list. The guy hitting leadoff for that list. I was getting close to he's actively hurting this team's ability to win games. He is actively hurting this team's chances. Will Ryne Nelson do any better? We'll find out. He was fine filling in for Corbin Burns the other night against the Mets. We'll see how he handles a really tough test. This is a really good Dodgers lineup tonight. Ohtani, Freeman, Betts, Edman back. They've got a lot of guys that can hit the ball and can hit the ball far. You saw it last night on display. So if Ryne Nelson is able to put up a really solid start tonight against this Dodgers lineup, he'll at least have that over Eduardo Rodriguez. He will have a better start against the Dodgers. He'll have that on the resume. And this is something we'll file away and keep very close tabs on, because at some point, the future financial ramifications for this team, they need to come secondary to the team's chances to win baseball games. And I wonder if we are close to the teetering point or the tipping point of Eduardo Rodriguez is actively hurting this team's ability to win. 480-864-1060 is the phone number. We've also got you over on the KDUS 1060 Twitter account, the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. You can watch the show on both of those platforms. When we come back, the list ranking the 9 head coaching candidates still left for the Phoenix Suns. Hour 1 through 9, the guys that we want to see get this job, to the guys that we would say thanks but no thanks to. That's next, the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app. Arizona children enter the foster system every day. If you're a parent, a coach, a teacher, or just someone who cares about young people, then you may be in a position to help. Become a foster parent not only creates a positive ripple effect in a child's life, it can improve our entire community. That's the foster effect. To learn more, go to azdcs.gov/foster effect. That's azdcs.gov/foster effect. This message is brought to you by the Arizona Department of Child Safety.
Brian Adams, Roll with the Punches Tour 2025. A night full of hits, live at PHX Arena, Saturday, November 15th. With special guest Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
Summer's almost here, and that means swimsuits, pool parties, and walks on the beach. For the confidence to look your very best, come to Red Mountain Weight Loss. At Red Mountain, our expert doctors will help maximize your results from brand name medications like Wegovy and Zepbound. Another option is our signature medication, RM3. RM3 helps you lose up to 20 pounds a month while melting inches from your belly, hips, and thighs. This patented medication is available only by prescription, and you can only get it at Red Mountain Weight Loss. For over 30 years, Red Mountain has been the trusted leader in medical weight loss. Our doctors deliver safe, effective solutions tailored to your needs. Red Mountain has helped over 1 million patients lose weight safely, and they can help you too. Lose weight and look great just in time for summer at Red Mountain Weight Loss. Go to redmountainweightloss.com. That's redmountainweightloss.com. Red Mountain Weight Loss. Real doctors, real results.
Hey, it's Austin Clark, owner of Moxie Pest Control. Did you know there's over 1,000 pest control companies in Arizona? So why is Moxie the highest and most reviewed pest control company in Arizona? Because at Moxie, we put people first, and we believe in paying it forward. That means kindness every time. It means showing up on time, going the extra mile, and treating your home like it's our own. And by taking a little extra time in our service, we make a few friends along the way. Our field experts are the kind of people you'll feel good having around your spouse, your kids, and your pets. Yes, we've trained them to solve pest problems better, but also to care more, smile more, and earn your trust at every visit. We offer same-day services in most cases, and we'll even give you 50% off your first service when you call. Call 888-MOXIE-10. That's 888-MOXIE-10. Moxie Pest Control, the highest and most reviewed pest control company in Arizona.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KTUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Welcome back into the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060. About 13 minutes from now, we've got the leftovers, all the stories that we didn't get to throughout the course of the program here today. But right now, the list, ranking the 9 head coaching candidates that remain, that enter round 2 of the Suns coaching search. Producer Evan has a list. I have a list 1 through 9, 1 being the person that we would like to see of these 9 most likely to get this gig, or that we want to get this gig, all the way down to 9, the person we would least like to get this gig. Do we want to do this 9 to 1 and then we each exchange the names?
Yeah, it's that.
Okay. I'll start with number 9. And really 9 and 8 go together. 9 and 8 can go in any order. So
all right, so I know who your 9 and 8 are.
You know who my 9 and 8 are?
Yeah.
You want to guess?
I think it's Jordan Ott.
Okay.
And I think it's Hetzel.
Steve Hetzel is number 9. Jordan Ott is number 8. Both of these gentlemen may be fine coaches. They may be great. This may be the Suns missing on an opportunity to hire an all-time NBA head coach if they follow my advice. I just think the optics of hiring a first-time general manager who has ties to Michigan State and then hiring a first-time head coach who also has ties to Michigan State is just an optic that the Phoenix Suns can't afford to weather right now. That is not a storm that I think they're able to come out on the other side of. So from that purpose alone, you can't do this. So they're number 9 and they're number 8 for me.
Okay, my number 9, David Fizdale.
Okay.
You can't do GM and coach internally. I would have more of a problem with that than the Michigan State thing.
Okay.
I have Fizdale at 9. I then go Ott at 8, Hetzel at 7.
Okay, I've got Fizdale at 7. So
Okay.
I thought Fizdale is at least a better choice than the 2 Michigan State guys, because Fizdale, I can at least say, former NBA head coach, has been with the team. You may think that's a negative, and I understand your point, but he's been there. He's seen this team. He knows where it went sideways. If there's somebody who understands effort and working hard and attitude and take that for data, it's David Fizdale. So I put Fizdale at number 7. So we have the same 3 names, just in a different order, 7 through 9. Same 3 guys in that clump for all the same reasons. At number 6, and again, I think 6 through 3, my next 4 names, I'm really not impartial to this order. I can move it around. I have Sean Sweeney at number 6, the Dallas
That's who I have too.
Assistant coach. I just don't know a lot about him compared to the rest of the guys. And the resume, his other stops have been in Milwaukee with Jason Kidd, in Brooklyn with Jason Kidd. So it just feels like he's followed Jason Kidd around and hasn't really broken through anywhere else. And so some of these other guys have a resume. The other places that they've worked aren't just following one singular coach around. And so that was the tiebreaker for me. So Sean Sweeney, he may be a great coach. I think he's better than the 3 candidates that have the Michigan State ties or who are still with the organization. So I put Sweeney at number 6. Do you want to share your number 5?
My number 5 was James Borrego, Pelicans assistant and the former head coach.
So I have Borrego a little bit higher up. I have Micah Norrie here at number 5, the Minnesota Timberwolves assistant. This is a guy who's a defensive-minded coach. He worked in Denver with Michael Malone. He's now in Minnesota working with a team that is on the cusp of winning a championship. And so you have a guy who has been with two teams that have won one team that's won championship recently, another team that's trying to win a championship right now, a guy that checks the defensive-minded box. So I liked a lot about that. So I put Micah Nori at number 5. Speaking of James Borrego, I had him at number 4, one spot ahead. The Pelicans assistant, the former Hornets head coach, younger. I like that he was a former head coach. Again, I don't think it's necessary that they lean into that box.
I don't know if I love that.
I was okay with it.
Okay.
Didn't bother me as much.
See, I think that's my knock on him. I don't want a former head coach.
I mean, it was what, one season?
It was.
In Charlotte with the Hornets? Does it really count if you coach the Charlotte Hornets as a head coach?
That's the other question.
Does it really count? Question. I don't really know. If you want to flip Micah Nori and James Borrego, I would not have a problem with that
either. Yeah, I have Micah Nori a little higher than you do.
You do?
Yeah. And I also know my 4, you definitely have higher.
If you have Dave Bliss at number 4, I may turn off the microphone and come in there and we may fight.
I have Dave Bliss at number 4.
What are you doing? This is the only reason why he's not number 1 on my list is there's just a slam dunk candidate to put in front of him. And if that slam dunk candidate just said thanks, but no thanks to the Phoenix Suns, Dave Bliss is the guy. I'll explain my reasons for Dave Bliss when I get there. So you have Dave Bliss at number 4. So go ahead. Talk bad about Dave Bliss.
Well, I'm not going to talk back. I don't think that he fits what the Suns need.
Oh, I disagree strongly. I think he checks every single box.
I think Nori fits more of what the Suns need than he does.
You think Micah Nori fits more than Dave Bliss does?
Yes. I also think Johnny Bryant does. We'll get into that.
So I have Johnny Bryant at number 3. He's a young assistant coach with Cleveland. And these are the other places that he's worked. He's worked with Utah. He's worked with the Knicks before he took the job as the assistant on the Cleveland staff. He was in New York from 2020 to 2024. So he was part of the ascension that we've seen in
Which
New York.
I love.
Oh, of course. That's why he's number 3 for me.
Which I love that. And to be honest with you, I just didn't see as much of that with Bliss. Like, I understand what OKC has done, but it's a very different situation than where the Suns currently sit.
Fair. And I have Bryant at number 3. Do you have Bryant higher than that?
No. Yeah, I have him at 2.
You have him at 2. Okay, so you have who do you have at 3?
Micah Nori.
Oh, you have Micah Nori at 3. Okay. So with Bryant, the Knicks thing really stood out to me. Like, he was there for the 4 years where they were putting this together while they were going out and getting Jalen Brunson and they were getting Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo and they were making the Julius Randle, right? He was an assistant and working on that staff, and you saw the way that team plays, the hustle that they play with, working under Thibodeau. That just really stood out for me with Johnny Bryant. And then he goes to Cleveland and he's an assistant there. And I know it didn't end well, but that's a pretty successful regular season.
I mean, he gets there. Cleveland becomes better. They have one of the best regular seasons. They, like you said, didn't end well, but listen, they were a force to be reckoned with this year. And we talked about what the Knicks did. He built a culture and was part of a culture building in New York that, like I've said before, this Suns team, if they came out and played like the Knicks every night, we would be happy.
We would be thrilled. We would be over the moon. So taking somebody off of that tree or who worked there was a part of that is great. I have Dave Bliss at number 2, checks every single box. Everyone, defensive-minded guy. Was there for 2 different head coaching regimes there in Oklahoma City. Was there for the entire process of building a winning culture in Oklahoma City. And the tiebreaker between Dave Bliss and Johnny Bryant, Oklahoma City's still playing in the postseason. Oklahoma City's still going. So they've got a culture that's working. They've got a culture that's got them just 4 wins away from going to the NBA Finals. He's young. He's been an assistant for a bunch of years. He is more on the defensive side of the ball. Dave Bliss was number 2 for me. And we both have Chris Quinn number 1. I mean, that's the easiest thing.
I think the only way you wouldn't hire Chris Quinn is if he doesn't want the job.
If he says thanks, but no thanks, I think Chris Quinn's the leader in the clubhouse. The fact that he's made it to round 2, that he wants to be in this process, I think if you got down to Chris Quinn, Johnny Bryant, Dave Bliss, and one of Borrego, Nori, or Sean Sweeney, I don't know if you can go wrong.
Yeah, I would like that. I just not any of the bottom ones.
No.
Don't give me Fizdale. Don't give me Ott. Don't give me Hetzel.
You can't. And again, Jordan Knott may be an awesome head coach someday. Steve Hetzel may be an awesome head coach.
And again, I don't have much to say about Sean Sweeney, but what stands out is that I don't know enough of what he's done, whereas I can look at the other guys on the list and be like, hey, here's what he's done. Here's what his resume is. That's somebody that I think could help this team turn the corner that they need to turn.
Sean Sweeney has followed Jason Kidd around and has been an assistant for Kidd everywhere he's gone, right? And so Kidd is the guy endorsing Sweeney because he's brought him everywhere. Eric Spoelstra is speaking for Chris Quinn because he's had him around. Whose voice do I value more, Spoelstra or Kidd?
It's close, but
Spoelstra. Micah Nori worked with Michael Malone in Denver. He's worked with Chris Finch in Minnesota. That matters more than just following Jason Kidd around. Dave Bliss worked for a couple different head coaches there in Oklahoma City. Again, that matters more than just following Jason Kidd around. Again, not taking anything away from Sean Sweeney. He may be a great head coach, but there are just other tiebreakers that these other guys have, that these other coaches have on their resume that Sean Sweeney just doesn't. He can't say that I've worked for Eric Spoelstra and I have the Eric Spoelstra seal of approval. He can't say that I've worked with the Knicks for 4 years while they were putting together what we're watching them right now. I was with the Cleveland Cavaliers, who were the 1 seed in the East this season, right? Johnny Bryant can say that. Johnny Bryant has that on his resume. Sean Sweeney doesn't. So Chris Quinn, Dave Bliss, Johnny Bryant, James Borrego, Micah Nori, Sean Sweeney, David Fizdale, Jordan Knott, Steve Hetzel are my 1 through 9. You want to recap your 1 through 9 real quick?
Yep. My list was Fizdale, Ott, Hetzel, Sweeney, Borrego, Bliss, Micah Nori, Johnny Bryant, Chris Quinn.
So we agree.
Also, Jordan Knott did work with Mike Budenholzer, which is another knock on him.
Who did?
Jordan Knott.
Move him down to 9. Move him down to 9. Hetzel moves up to 8. I'm crossing it off on my list. Jordan Knott goes down to 9. Steve Hetzel moves up to 8. So yeah, Quinn, Bliss, Johnny Bryant, Micah Nori, man, those guys, they just stick out on the page for me. If the Suns got one of those 4 guys, I think I'd be skipping to work. I'd be thrilled about that hire. Great first thing for Brian Gregory, and it would be, I think, a great hire.
That's exactly what I was going to say. This list gets me excited about that they're headed in the right direction. They know what their problems are.
Well, until they just hired Jordan Knott, and then we're right back to square one. But
yep.
Again, lots of great names
they're
on this
interviewing
list.
the right guy.
Pick one of the good names. Pick one of the guys that we had like 1 through 5 on our list. Don't pick the guys that have the Michigan State ties, please. Please don't feed into that narrative. When we come back, it is the leftovers. It's all the stories that we didn't get to throughout the course of the program here today. We'll do it next. It's the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh, my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Feeling uneasy about your financial future? You need a partner that helps lighten the load. Welcome to Global Credit Union. It means early payday, your paycheck up to 3 days early with direct deposit, accounts with no NSF fees, and a mobile app with tools to help you manage your family budget. At Global, we take member care seriously with branches near you and a 24/7 U.S.-based call center staffed by real people. Join us at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union.
Nitro Circus is back with the all-new Off the Rails Tour. World-class daredevils and FMX, BMX, skate, scooter, and more. Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, and never-been-done showdowns. Friday, December 5th, Desert Diamond Arena. Visit Ticketmaster.com.
In Las Vegas, live music doesn't just start. It hits different. The biggest names in music will be taking the stage. Beyoncé, Shakira, New Kids on the Block, Pitbull, Lionel Richie, Kenny Chesney, Motley Crue, Janet Jackson, Keisha Cole, Brad Paisley, Kelly Clarkson, The Weeknd, live in Vegas. Go to visitlasvegas.com to see the full summer lineup.
The savings are heating up now at Mark Kia in Scottsdale.
Right now, you can lease a brand new 2025 Kia Sportage for just $199 a month. for 24 months with $29.99 due at signing.
That's right, a brand new Kia for under $200 a
Go to
month.
markkia.com to check out our current selection of inventory not affected by future tariff changes.
The name to remember, Mark Kia, Mark Kia. Go to markkia.com for full details. $0 security deposit. Pay it. Tax title license $998 doc fee. Offer expires June 2nd, 2025.
Memorial Day mega sale is on at Little Dealer Little Prices. Get a new Forest River Westbrook from $13,995. Plus, veterans, military, and first responders receive a free camping package with purchase. Shop now at littledealer.com. Discount valid on in-stock RVs camping package for eligible buyers. Not combinable with other offers. See dealer for details. Ends May 31st, 2025.
It's ASU postseason baseball right here on KDUS AM 1060. After fighting hard all season long, the Sun Devils are ready to make some noise in the Phillips 66 Big 12 Baseball Championship. Their first matchup is up against BYU bright and early this Wednesday. Join the voice of the Sun Devils, Tim Healy, as he calls the action from Arlington. It's ASU versus BYU. Pregame at 6:45 a.m. and first pitch at 7 a.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and online at KDUS1060.com/Sun Devils.
Hey, if you're listening over on the KDUS AM 1060 app, or you're streaming us on KDUS1060.com, you can listen for your chance to win 4 tickets to the Diamondbacks when they take on the Washington Nationals on Saturday, May 31st at Chase Field. It's Domo's night at Chase Field. Get your Geraldo Perdomo bobblehead on May 31st, courtesy of Chaz Roberts. So you're listening over on the app, or you're streaming us, you're logged in, you're registered. You have a chance to win the 4 tickets, and then you got to get to the game early to get your hands on the giveaway, the Geraldo Perdomo bobblehead on May 31st. Or you can get your tickets at dbacks.com/SGT. It is the leftovers, all the stories that we didn't get to. We pile them onto the plate, and we get to them here with about 10 minutes or so to go left in the program. Producer Evan is the man with all of the stories. The show is yours, my friend.
Okay, we will start in Chicago. The White Sox made a commemorative mural and section for the section that Pope Leo sat in during the 2005 World Series. I also saw a rumor on Twitter, can't confirm this one,
okay,
but it was a rumor, that they will be holding a mass at Guarantee Rate Stadium before Sunday's game to commemorate Pope Leo.
I have never seen something take hold in the American pop culture lexicon the way Pope Leo has. We were watching it all happen during the morning meeting, and in real time we're like, man, the content on this is going to be great, and it has exceeded all of my expectations.
It was so funny watching that, because I remember saying like the Pope doesn't really affect my day to day ever.
No,
and then it was like, Pope's American. This is awesome.
And it's just, there's just content everywhere. Videos of him at the 2005 World Series. It's just, it is insane. It is wild. It is insane. It is fun. It has been fun to see everybody hop on board. And I'm not the most religious person in the world, but it has been interesting to see the way. And I don't even think you need to be religious to just enjoy the content and the pop culture nature of the Pope Leo story.
No, not at all. And I think the White Sox adding in on this has been very, very funny.
Have fun.
Kyle Schwarber last night hits his 300th home run.
Who
cares? 11th active player to do so.
Who
cares? Listen, who cares? Cubs fans, Phillies fans, people who like baseball and respect great left-handed hitters. I'm a huge nerd. I think he's on the chase of 500. Who cares? Wait, I didn't add this to leftover, but I woke up this morning and I just checked the National League standings. And sorry, there was a new team in first. I didn't look or anything, but there was a new team in first place. Schmammered.
I'm just going to speak the rest of the segment in U drops. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, 300 home runs, first in the division.
Don't care.
Good troll. We'll move on here. Fred Warner becomes the highest paid linebacker in football.
49ers just
I have no idea where
contracts.
they're finding this money.
Yeah, they're just finding money. They're looking in between the couch cushions to just find extra millions of dollars to pay players.
When the Padres a few years ago started signing all these guys, I was just like, where are they finding this money? That's what I think about the Niners. 3 years, $63 million for Fred Warner.
They're going all in on a very short window. We talked about this yesterday in discussing Brock Purdy's contract. It is a small window. You think it's a year. It may max out at 2 years, maybe 3 years. It is a very small window that the 49ers, I think, are the 49ers are operating in to try to win a championship.
Yeah. I don't agree with it. It's a linebacker.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money for a linebacker.
Yeah.
And one who is certainly getting older.
100%.
Okay. Fox Sports released a story today. This is a fun one. The NFL players who have most to prove. We have 10 names on this list. Most to prove in 2025. Do you want to guess any of them?
I'm so bad at this when we do it. I'm so bad. But I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence is definitely not on the list. To be honest, as soon as you said that name, I was like, oh, he's got to be on here. He's not. I had to recheck.
Okay, I'll give it one more. Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott not on the list.
I give up.
There is another Cowboy.
I don't care.
Who cares? Number 10, we just talked about his teammate, quarterback Brock Purdy. The big contract.
What does he have to prove? He got paid.
Yeah.
He's got nothing to prove. He's going to just collect $181 million over the next 3 seasons.
Number 9, CJ Stroud.
Yeah, okay. He still hasn't been paid. It was a bad year last year. Yeah, okay.
Number 8, Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I'm okay. A little impromptu buy or sell. Buy. I buy.
Number 7, this one's crazy. George Pickens.
He has something to prove?
I guess, yeah.
Sell. Because it's just whatever.
Number 6. This is an interesting one.
Okay.
Milton Williams, now that he's not an Eagle.
No, again, he got paid. He got the bag.
No, but this is approving it outside of Jalen Carter, outside of... Who cares?
He got the money. He doesn't have... He's won a championship. He got the big contract. He doesn't have to prove anything to anybody anymore.
Patriots fans. He has to prove stuff to Patriots fans.
He still wants to play at an elite level, yes. But normally when you end up on this list, it's because you haven't won a championship and you have something to prove there. Or you need to cash in on the next contract. Milton Williams just did both of those things.
He also has a Super Bowl ring.
Right.
Number 5 for what has to be his 5th or 6th year on the list, Sam Darnold, now a Seattle Seahawk.
I mean, he just got paid.
Yeah, but not really.
No, he got paid. He got $100 million guaranteed. He got paid.
That's not a lot for a quarterback.
Okay.
And he has to prove something after what was 2 of the worst weeks of football I've seen in back-to-back weeks.
Yes. Does he have to prove something if he wants to be talked about as a top 10 quarterback? Yes. The direct deposit is going to come in every week. He's going to get his money.
Number 4, Caleb Williams.
Yes. See, this makes sense. It has not gotten a second contract yet. They just got a brand new head coach.
You're big on the second contract.
He hasn't won anything yet. They built their entire offseason around helping him. Yeah, he's got to back it up. See, this one makes sense. Buy.
Well, if the argument with Caleb Williams is he hasn't won anything yet, then why is Sam Darnold
Because guess what? It doesn't matter if he's won anything. They paid him $100 million. What has Kirk Cousins won? Teams just keep giving him money.
Kirk's a good player. Don't make this about Kirk.
What big game has Kirk Cousins won in his career?
You like that?
I don't classify that as big game. Who else is on this list?
Number 3, New York Jets, Justin Fields.
I mean, he did get paid. Now, if you said $100 million for Sam Darnold isn't a whole lot, the $20 million, $30 million that they paid Fields isn't a lot. He wants to find a firm landing spot. He wants to be a franchise quarterback somewhere. Yes, he belongs on this list. Bye.
Number 2, J.J. McCarthy.
Yes, again, this makes sense. The Vikings got rid of Darnold. They didn't go after Rodgers. They cleared the way for the guy that they went out and traded up for and got in the 2024 NFL draft. He's coming off of a major injury. Team won 14 games a year ago. Yes, he has something to prove.
Number 1, Anthony Richardson.
I mean, yes, he has something to prove, but I think he's going to be sitting on the bench.
I don't think he has a chance to prove what he wants
You're
to prove. That's going to be the most interesting quarterback room other than the New York Giants.
And by interesting, you mean bad, right? By interesting, you mean not very good.
Oh, no, they're going to stink. But I think Riley Leonard's going to get a chance at the end of the year.
The list ended well. The start of the list was not very good. It did end
You don't think
well.
George Pickens has a lot to prove?
That's going to do it for us on the Tuesday edition of the program. Jim Rome is coming up next. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Everybody, have a great rest of your Tuesday. We will talk to you tomorrow. See ya!